What in the world are we doing here on a Wednesday? Well, there's just been too much going on in Tempe this past weekend, so good thing we are. Welcome, Drew Andre and Braiden Bell with you.
I don't know what you're talking about, Drew. I'm here every single day that ends with a Y, so...
So you're calling me lazy because I'm not?
Not at all. I would never question your work ethic. I would never do that. But here we are. Whatever day it is, we're ready to talk Arizona State athletics. And we'll start with the women's basketball team. They traveled down to Austin, Texas over the weekend for the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. After taking care of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Charlie Turner Thorne's bunch set their sights on a tough Texas Longhorns squad. Unfortunately for the Devils, the Cinderella slipper didn't quite fit. Our Alex Gall has more.
The Arizona State women's basketball team ended their season Monday night after an 85-65 loss to the number 2 seeded Texas Longhorns in the second round of the NCAA tournament right here on their home floor at the Frank Erwin Center. In the game, ASU was out-rebounded by 21, and the Longhorns shot 62% from the field, establishing a dominant post presence down low all night long.
You know, hats off to Texas. I mean, Karen's done an unbelievable job with that program, and you know, they're definitely. We've played like Mississippi State. We've played, you know, everybody in our conference. You know, there's 3 top 10 teams right there, maybe 4, and you know, Texas is as good as any of them.
After defeating Nebraska in the first round last Saturday, ASU had to contend with a Longhorn squad that boasted 2 starters at least 6'3" tall. The Devils struggled in the first half, but managed to keep the score close because of Kiana Ibis' ability to stretch the defense. Ibis entered the break with 19 points on 6 of 10 shooting from the floor, as the Devils cut an 11-point deficit to 5 at the halftime break.
Kiana is a tough matchup for anybody. You know, when they went small, we put her inside. When they went big, we screened for perimeter shots. I mean, it's hard to know how to guard her, really. You know, it's hard because we need 3 people going, and we only had her going today. We didn't get our other scorers going, and that's tough.
Bring the heat! 1, 2, 3, bring the heat!
The Devils' offensive problems haunted them in the second half as Ibis slowed down and the team collectively shot just below 29% in the third quarter. The Longhorns blitzed the Sun Devils in the third quarter, picking up 12 fast break points on the day and picking up 54 points down low in the paint.
I would say the biggest difference is rebounding. They just took advantage of the size, and they just kept on taking it to us when we weren't ready, and they just took advantage of it.
With a fast and furious second half effort, the Longhorns built a hefty advantage by pushing the tempo as senior guard Brooke McCarty led the way with 15 points and 10 rebounds. Texas finished out the game easily and defeated the Sun Devils by a final score of 85-65. And every single player from the 2017-18 roster gets Sabrina Haynes back from an ACL injury she suffered at the beginning of this season and add a quality recruiting class to the mix. All that added up makes for a bright future for Charlie Turner Thorne's program. Reporting in Austin, Texas, Alex Gall, Cronkite Sports.
Zahid Valencia, revenge is sweet, and even sweeter when it's for a national championship. The ASU wrestler completed a 32-0 undefeated season Saturday with a win over Penn State's Mark Hall. Last year, Hall took down Valencia in the national semifinals. He then went on to win the championship. Saturday, the 2 sophomores, yes, just sophomores, met in the title match. And the luck of the Irish was in favor of Valencia, who sealed the championship with an 8-2 decision, the 11th individual championship in Arizona State wrestling history, and the first at the 174-pound weight class. And Valencia did it in front of a NCAA wrestling championship single-session record crowd of 19,776.
We now move from one national champion to another, a team that made a statement this weekend that they might be title contenders as well. Sun Devils softball hosted the top-ranked Washington Huskies in Tempe for a 3-game series. After splitting the first 2 games, the Devils gave the ball to their ace, G. Juarez, and she continued to dazzle. Troy Tauscher was there and has more.
With both teams having a shutout victory in the series, Monday's rubber match between the Arizona State Sun Devils and Washington Huskies was going to be a statement win for whoever came out on top. Both sides put their aces in the circle to try and pick up the series victory. ASU's G. Juarez and Washington's Teran Alvelo threw 11 strikeout shutouts in games 1 and 2, respectively. In the end, it would be Alvelo who slipped up first, issuing a walk and a hit by pitch with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. That set up freshman first baseman Danielle Gibson for a 2 RBI double, which, as in Game 1, was all ASU needed to secure the 2-0 victory.
When there's opportunities to put runs on the board, it's always good to capitalize on that, and just being able to see a pitch and produce runs for G. I mean, G, like I said before, she throws well when we're ahead, and she threw well when we were ahead.
With the lead in tow, the now back-to-back Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week did indeed throw well. Juarez carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning, threw no walks, and dealt 76 strikes on 100 total pitches.
She's left-handed and 6 feet. That's tough as it is. So she does a really good job of getting all of her pitches coming out of, I call it the chute, but basically they all look the same and then they break vertically.
Behind the pitching, ASU's defense experienced a major turnaround from the previous game. After 4 errors and 9 hits allowed on Sunday, ASU made sure that whenever Washington was at the plate, the field was sealed.
That was the frustrating thing, is I think yesterday we did not play our game. And today we came out again and played our game, and so just to challenge them a little bit. And this was a great opportunity for us, and we cashed it in. And just very happy with, G was lights out, amazing again. We played great defense.
With a record of 24-4, the Sun Devils are in high spirits and look ready to have a memorable season even in the challenging Pac-12 conference. For the players, the secret is simple. The team that sticks together wins together.
We have a great team. We all love each other. We play for each other. And I think that's one of the biggest things this year is we love playing behind each other. I love all my teammates. We all love each other. We're just excited and we're pumped because we know we have something special here.
With 2 shutout victories against the #1 team in the nation, the Sun Devils have certainly given the rest of the Pac-12 a reason to fear the fork. Reporting from Tempe, Troy Tauscher, Cronkite Sports.
We will stick with softball for the time being, and for good reason. After taking the series against top-ranked Washington, the Devils are riding high, now ranked 12th in the country. Michael Gutnick has more on where the Devils stand in this week's edition of Impact.
Thanks, Braiden. Entering the Pac-12 schedule, the Sun Devils sit in the top 25 at number 12 with 5 other Pac-12 schools in the rankings, including 4 out of the top 10 spots. ASU began conference play and started out with a bang against #1 ranked Washington. Over the weekend, the Sun Devils took 2 out of 3 from the Huskies, ending Washington's perfect season bid. Sophomore starter G. Juarez pitched in games 1 and 3 of the series and was lights out, not allowing a single run. The Southpaw earned the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week award for the 2nd straight week with 2 wins and 24 strikeouts in 12 innings of shutout work. Juarez has posted an earned run average of .84, 11 wins, and 130 strikeouts, which all rank in the top 10 among Pac-12 pitchers. With a dominant starting rotation and an electric offense, the Sun Devils have their eyes set for heavy Pac-12 competition with games against UCLA, Oregon, and Arizona ahead of them. Winning contests against these higher-ranked opponents will give ASU more confidence to make it farther in the NCAA tournament and a shot at claiming the national title in Oklahoma. Back to you guys at the desk.
For ASU baseball to start Pac-12 play with a sweep of Oregon. We start with Friday. Junior transfer Sam Romero brought his A game, fanning 7 batters on the night. Carter Aldretti helps ASU strike early with this single, but Oregon rebounded with 4 runs of their own. But they didn't have Gage Canning. Bases loaded in the 8th, he pokes a triple, clearing the bases and closes the door on the Ducks. They scored 5 runs in that 8th inning. To Saturday we go. It was a Sun Devil onslaught. Already 7-0 in the 3rd, and Gage Canning, the National Player of the Week, crushes a 3-run bomb. But no, he's not even close to being done. A 5-for-5 game overall with 2 home runs. And hitting over the fence was just too easy. So why not an inside the Parker? He was unreal in this game. So at this point, heading to the 6th inning, 15-0 already, but that just wasn't enough. So the freshman sensation, Spencer Torkelson, rockets his 10th long ball of the season. He's just 1 off the freshman record at ASU. Who holds that? The home run king, Barry Bonds. So impossible to match that performance against Sunday, but it was still pretty darn good. Senior Eli Lingos took the hill and cruised through 7 2/3. He allowed just 1 run Sunday afternoon, and Carter Aldretti was back at it. A couple of singles on a 2-for-2 with 2 RBI day. The Sun Devils sweep the floor 6-1 the final. So undefeated to start Pac-12 play, but then yesterday didn't go quite as well as ASU fell 10-3 to UNLV. And I woke up in WCSN baseball reporter Nick Batters. Nick, we can't not start without talking about Gage Canning.
No, you're absolutely right. You mentioned he was the Pac-12 Player of the Week and the National Player of the Week. Absolutely phenomenal weekend. 10 for 13 against Oregon. Not only did he have a great weekend, but he's had a great season as well. He leads the nation in hits and triples. Not only that, but his slugging percentage is up near 1,000. His RBI total is near the team leaders. He's been doing absolutely everything. You see it right there. His slugging percentage, 851, 9 doubles, 8 triples. He hit 8 triples last season alone, so he's already tied his last season total in triples. The 2 home runs came this weekend and then 20 RBIs. But, man, those 43 hits and the 494 batting average. But the crazy thing about Gage Canning is that not only can he hit for power and hit for contact, but he can also run. He has great speed on the bases, but also great speed in the outfield as well. He's a great defender, 5-tool player, and really someone that Tracy Smith is so happy that he can build this program around.
And another player who maybe is one of those cornerstones to this program is the freshman Spencer Torkelson. However, he's not the only freshman who's been making a big impact in the lineup.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of people last year thought this team can't get much more freshman heavy, and then the 2018 Arizona State Sun Devil baseball program proved that to be completely false, because the freshmen have been getting so much playing time this year. If you look at the typical starting lineup, 5 of the 9 guys are probably going to be freshmen on a very consistent basis. Not only Torkelson, but Alika Williams, Drew Swift, Trevor Hauver's seen a lot of at-bats, and then Gage Workman's worked his way into the starting lineup as well. If you look at the numbers for the at-bats, the freshmen alone have 380. Everyone else on the team has 387, so just 7 less at-bats. The freshmen have scored 66 runs. Everyone else has only 65, and the freshmen have batted in 56 runs. Everyone else, 66. So the totals for the freshmen compared to everyone else, really phenomenal. You can see they've been getting a lot of playing time and absolutely making the most of it. The place where ASU baseball is right now would not have been possible without the contributions of, I mean, obviously Spencer Torkelson. Alika Williams has had some key at-bats. Drew Swift has been really consistent. And then obviously Trevor Hauver and Gage Workman has worked his way into the lineup with his bat.
Well, another bright spot of this team this year has been the starting rotation. And so really, what's been the difference between last year and this year?
I mean, if you look at last year, there was just so much fluidity when it came to the starting rotation. Eli Lingos got some Friday night starts. Connor Higgins, Chaz Montoya, Ryan Hinks. There were so many different guys getting starts, and there was really never a solid starting rotation. But you move ahead to this year, and that's completely different, because a couple weekends ago, Sam Romero, he started on a Friday night, and he locked down that Friday night role. And he's been really fun to watch. Boyd Vanderkoy this past weekend, he took over the Saturday role. He had pitched the first few Sundays of the season. And then the guy who started the most Friday nights last year, Eli Lingos, he's now pitching on Sunday. And that's something that Tracy Smith is so excited about, because he's had almost a quality start in every single game. He's had 3 quality starts, and he's come within within 1 out of a quality start twice. His ERA is just above 3. Boyd Vanderkoy's ERA is just above 1, and then Sam Romero's strikeout to walk ratio, 23-5. My word, he's been so much fun to watch. Really, what the starting rotation has done has been huge, because having a rotation that is this solidified is going to be really crucial for ASU to succeed heading into Pac-12 play, looking down the road.
All right, for more of Nick's work and the rest of our baseball coverage, head to cronkitesports.com. A look ahead. What's coming ahead for ASU baseball? It's more Pac-12 play. First with a road series against UCLA, and then we'll follow that up with a trip to Palouse to take on Washington State. And you see all the way at the bottom, April 10th, to get that rematch against UNLV.
In years past, talking Arizona State gymnastics was a rarity on this show. The program was struggling to compete in the Conference of Champions, but this year they've been too good to ignore. The Gym Devils surprised everyone with the start to their season, and they've been able to sustain that success all the way through. The team will head into the Pac-12 6th in the very difficult conference. They are also ranked 17th in the nation. The season has already been special, but with a solid performance at the Pac-12 Saturday in Tucson, it can be considered great. As always, to keep up with the Gym Devils, visit CronkiteSports.com.
Week 2 of spring practice, and out come the pads. Yesterday was practice number 4 of the spring season for ASU football, and WCSN's Scotty Gange was there.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the Bill Kajikawa football practice training facility where Arizona State has just began their second week of spring football practices. And to fill you all in on what's been going on over here, here's some sights and sounds. Dude, I don't know about you, but the only thing I could pay attention to, it's spring football. The weather looked awesome.
It looked so nice. I would love to be there.
Springtime in Arizona. Well, you are there, dude. I mean, we're living in it. It's awesome. But anyways, from football, now we'll talk men's tennis. I'm joined by the one, the only, Mason Kern. Thank you for being here and not coming outside right now.
Yeah, I know. It's nice. It's nice in here. It's a little chilly though.
A little chilly, but that's beside the point. Anyways, all right. ASU men's tennis. They traveled to Southern California for the second time this season, this past Thursday. They took on number 4 Ohio State. They lost in a tight one, 4-3. But what do you think the squad gained from that?
Well, I think it gives them a lot of confidence because this was the second time in a row that this team played an Oracle ITA top 5 opponent. They lost to number 3 Stanford and then lost to number 4 Ohio State, but they were close. Like you said, it was 4-3 in both of those matches. And what head coach Matt Hill did at the beginning of the season, he kind of stacked their schedule. They played ranked teams like Duke and Texas A&M and TCU, and they lost all those matches. They got dominated. They went 0-3. Schedule got a little lighter. They went on an 8-match winning streak, and then now that they're playing really good teams again, they dropped them, but it was a lot closer. So it really shows them that they can compete with the big dogs.
And you mentioned that. They are playing against the big dogs. They're not afraid to play anyone in this first year back at the D1 level. All right, so after that, then number 26 ASU, they traveled to the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, and they advanced to the championship match, but ultimately fell to Cal 4-3. So what kind of an impact will that have on ASU's national ranking?
Well, the rankings just came out yesterday. They were updated, and ASU did fall a few spots. They went from number 26 to number 34, but they participated in the BNP Paribas Open Collegiate Tennis Challenge. That was the tournament at Indian Wells.
Quite the title.
It is. It's kind of a mouthful, but at the same time, they took on some good opponents. They beat Southern Methodist University 4-2. Then they took on Tulsa and dominated 4-1. And then, like you said, championship match, they did lose to Cal. Cal is a perennial Pac-12 powerhouse. They're number 39 in the nation when ASU took them on. Lost 4-3, and doubles has kind of been a real struggle for them all season. They lost the doubles point to Cal, and that gets them behind. You have to win 4 straight singles matches if you want to win or the overall match. They couldn't get it done against Cal, but at the same time, they were able to put on a nice performance. I think they'll be poised for a good run the rest of the season.
And so the rest of the season starts next when they play New Mexico at home back in Tempe. So give me a player you expect to see show out in that match, and do you think they come away with a win against the Lobos?
I do. I mean, New Mexico isn't a great ranked team, but I mean, any challenge is definitely going to be a little difficult. But ASU, I looked at their captains. They have 2. Senior captain Mikhail Gertz. He was ranked number 61, now number 35 in singles play in the nation. And then freshman captain Benjamin Hannestad, he was ranked 50th in the updated rankings. He's now 40th. So those 2 players are on the rise. But Andrea Bola in the tournament that I just mentioned, the BNP Paribas Open, he went undefeated in all 3 of his singles matches. Went 3-0, so he's also a player I look toward. Maki Rakatamalala, his ranking is number 116 now, so ASU has some good players. I think they will come away with the win.
If we were keeping score on this past segment, you'd have won in straight sets. Great job, Mason. Thanks for being here.
After a hot start to the season, the ASU women's lacrosse team has lost 3 straight, the latest, a 15-5 loss last night against Liberty in Tempe.
The Arizona State women's lacrosse team lost its 4th straight game on Tuesday night, and as coach Courtney Martinez-Connor said, it was the fundamentals that were lacking in ASU's 15-5 defeat to Liberty.
Today was definitely different. It was the basics. You have to catch and throw. You have to work hard, and that's just something that our effort wasn't there.
Clearing the ball was a major issue for the Sun Devils, as they got it out of their own end just 16 times in 33 tries.
I think the most difficult part was, especially for defense, that we would get the ball on defense and either we would have a caused turnover, like we got the ball back or it was a save, and then we couldn't clear it out, and so it just kept coming back and back.
It was ASU's 3rd loss in the last 5 days. The Sun Devils unable to win any on their 3-game homestand.
And I think the fatigue in the girls was certainly showing, but excited to refocus and get ready for our next set of Pac-12 games.
ASU heads to the Bay Area next weekend to resume Pac-12 play, taking on Stanford and Cal in the 2-game trip.
I guess we have a lot we can learn from it moving forward. There's a lot of mistakes were made, but a lot that we can see and just make a change on them.
It's now time for Sun Devil Social Media, a segment where we look to stay woke and keep our eyes out for the best in the world of Arizona State social media. Now that job, it isn't easy, but luckily we have a very talented and handsome man to guide us through that path, Mr. Scotty Gange. How are you doing?
Braiden, I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Great to see you. I mean, this is the only time I really see you is in the studio.
I know. Our schedules are messed up.
Yeah, it's true.
So I have me and the WCSN social media guru team of we've been scouring the ASU social media, so I think we've got some good ones that are literally out of this world and fire, but you guys will have to wait and see. It's a little teaser for you.
It's a great tease.
But we'll jump right into the first tweet.
excited to see
Braiden, so am I.
Okay.
So, Braiden, the first one, it was a little peculiar, and you're going to see it right here. It's you. It says onions. I saw it on the web, and I kind of thought to myself, what is he doing? Is he eating an onion in his living room? Is he? I don't know. What was going on here?
That's my favorite thing to eat at 9:18 p.m. is onions. No, okay. First off, thanks for calling me out. It is a catchphrase that a college basketball analyst, Bill Raftery, uses. If you don't know it, look it up on YouTube. It's a great catchphrase. It's the month of March. Whenever a big shot is hit, I tweet it.
And Raftery, he's known for just saying these outlandish things. I'd say onions is probably one of the least outlandish that he does.
Absolutely. Look it up.
Okay, yes, okay. I was wondering. I mean, I see onions on my Twitter feed. I'm going through this. There's different stuff going on. I just see onions. It pops out. So thanks for clearing it up, and we'll keep going on here. So we've done one, we've gone onions, and now it's time to go out of this world, as I said. So right here, Antonio Perez, mysterious ball on Mars. Where did it come from? I don't know where it came from, but you're about to find out as it comes up. And it's Spencer Torkelson, Mr. Home Run, Mr. Torque Bomb. Pretty sure that he hit it out there. And as the freshman has made quite a name for himself, tied for number 3 in the country with home runs with 10 already on the season.
I mean, as a freshman, he's put his name in the conversation with the likes of Barry Bonds. And Barry Bonds could do that, so yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, good thing nobody lives on Mars. That would be considered like an act of war, a torque bomb being dropped on Mars. Luckily, no one lives there that we know of. Aliens.
Mm-hmm. True. So that's our out of this world, and it's time to go to some fire. I'm telling you, this is an absolute fire tweet. You guys know Gage Canning?
Of course.
I've heard him like twice on this show already.
He has had a phenomenal weekend, as you can see right there. This GIF perfectly represents Gage Canning. Absolutely on fire. Look at that. Calm and collected. Just a cool handshake. Gage Canning, absolutely ridiculous this weekend. 5 for 5 on Saturday, an inside the park home run, a home run over the fence, and a triple, all on just Saturday night. That only just sums up his entire weekend for the Sun Devils.
He's red hot, obviously, but Teddy, my man Teddy here, he's red hot too. It's a great GIF. I mean, fantastic usage
it really is.
of a GIF and then a great tweet.
Yeah,
I give him props.
He is on fire. I'd say the inside the park home run that he had on Saturday explains that more than anything else.
You got that right, guys. Thanks for having me on. I always enjoy bringing in the tweets from out of this world. A couple on fire, and thanks for having me on, guys.
You mentioned me too, which is always gets you brownie points in my book.
Next time, maybe I get a tweet.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That's fair. All right, he's Scotty Gange, and he does it all, but not esports. We saved that for WCSN reporter Jack Lauderay.
This is a LAN event, a bi-weekly event that takes place in Tempe and is hosted by the ASU Esports Association. While the organization has seen growth lately, the marketing director Jacob Copley explains the organization had some humble beginnings.
ASU esports has always been, like esports and ASU specifically, has always been like an interest, but it's always been difficult to get people together around it, right? There's actually been a number of clubs around ASU that have tried to spring up to kind of bring esports together. None of them have really been successful until Carlton came in, and he kind of led a revival around ASU esports along with a number of other really talented people that kind of made ASU esports to a point where it's almost too big to fail. At this point, it's just continuing to grow organically by word of mouth and other means.
And while most big esports organizations have some help, President Michael Carlton says they do it all themselves.
Everything in ASU esports is also our members bring their own equipment, they play on their own organized teams, we manage our own teams, we fund our own teams. We host our own events, we bring our own community. We do work with other universities and a lot of different organizations outside the university, but right now the university itself does not promote esports.
The organization takes pride in their friendly, uplifting, and welcoming community that has grown within the association.
100% the best part about being in the organization is the community. It is by far the most positive, uplifting, and supportive community I've ever been a part of.
The community. It's great. I think everyone here has their own little twist, a little spin. It's like a little family. We have our jokes, our inside jokes, our ups and downs. We're all personally connected. When one person feels bad, we all look out for each other, and that's one of the great things.
When asked what the biggest need of the organization was, university support was a reoccurring theme.
So I think the most important thing for us right now is just making sure that we get more recognition from the university. So that's what we're really trying to go for, is get that extra bit of recognition and hope that eventually they'll see esports as something that's successful. Because what we really want to do is we want to be able to host events, not just on campus, not just the bi-weekly lands that we do to help bring this community together. We want to be able to host like larger events, partnering with 3 colleges in the region, potentially in the country, and that's really what we hope for.
The ASU Esports organization holds these lands bi-weekly here in Tempe. You can come, play games, make new friends, and have a great time. Now, the competitive teams, they're currently playing in the PAC-G League, which is the Pacific Alliance of Collegiate Gamers. That can be seen on the Utah Esports' Twitch page. In Tempe, Jack Lauderay, Cronkite Sports.
Now, before we move on, I got to ask, are you a big 2K guy? Staying on this esports theme.
I am, and I used to be really into it. Now I don't play quite as much, but yeah.
You've matured. You're a man now.
I have.
Would you like to play after this show, though?
Well, I'd love to.
It's a plan. All right, now it's time for my personal favorite segment of this show, The Way It Is, where we ask 3 questions, debate it out, and then they decide over there in the control room who gave the best answers. It's probably going to be me.
Yeah, fair enough. You like to speak your mind, so that's why it's your favorite segment. But
I have a big mouth. What can I say? All right. First question. Most impressive weekend. Now, this is a tough question because there are 3 great candidates. Zahid Valencia won a natty. G. Juarez shut out the #1 team in the country twice. And Gage Canning could do no wrong in the batter's box. So who's your pick?
Yeah, this is tough. And just what a weekend overall for ASU sports. Tough to go against a national champion, but I'm going with Gage Canning. He was the player of the week in the Pac-12 and nationally the player of the week. So individually, at least, kind of a national champion.
It's a push. Give me a ring. It's Zahid Valencia. Come on now. He won the natty. That's always special. But all 3 of them, I would take all 3. They were all phenomenal.
All right, back to baseball. They head to UCLA this weekend. Can they pick up another series win?
You know, I'm going to be bold and say yes. It's tough playing on the road in conference play, but I think this team feels pretty good about themselves after the the sweep against Oregon last weekend. I said they take 2 out of 3 against a very good UCLA team.
All right, I'm going to be close to that. I'm going to say they take 1 of the 3.
So they avoid the sweep.
And mostly because of what happened against UNLV on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was a tough loss. All right, last one. This is going to be a good question. So we're in the heart of March. Of course, March Madness is still going on, and sometimes people refer to the tournament as the big dance. So which ASU coach is the best dancer?
Whew, I had to think about this one a lot, but at the end of the day, it comes down to my favorite coach at ASU, Charlie Turner Thorne.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, you can't really compete with that. And I'm actually pretty convinced this isn't some sort of joke one. I would guess she's a really good dancer.
All right. First off, probably the best graphic we've ever had in the history of this show. Phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, that really is something. I'm going to go with the gymnastics coach, Jay Santos. I think he has some moves just thinking off the fact that it's gymnastics. Now, I'm not saying I watch Dancing with the Stars.
There you go. Yeah.
But when the gymnasts compete, they win.
No one performs better than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at that. We didn't choose any of them, but I like Trisha Ford there on the right. Huh?
Got to give it up for Trisha Ford. She's doing a great job with that softball team. All right, now we wait and see who wins. You feel confident?
I'm undefeated.
Well,
2-0 this semester.
You're about to take an L just like the Washington softball team. I'm warning you right
All
now.
right,
I have a yep, there we go. Look at that baby picture. That's a second best graphic ever shown on this show. All right. Let's see. It's time for me to read, and I can't wait to bring you this monologue because it's really straight from the heart, and it regards baseball, a great sport. So here we go. Arizona State baseball. They pride themselves as being MLBU. Historically, that's been very true. With alums like Reggie Jackson, Barry Bonds, and Dustin Pedroia, this couldn't be more correct. Recently, though, the program has fell on rough times. But the next great Sun Devil is here, and ASU fans should appreciate him while they still can. Gage Canning is the next great star to come out of Arizona State. His numbers so far, they're unreal. We are 21 games into the season, and Canning is still batting around 500 on the year. He also leads the nation in triples and plays great in the outfield. But perhaps his best attribute, his leadership. Arizona State baseball needed a star this season, and Gage Canning has done all of that and more. So ASU fans, he's right in front of you, a future stud on the next level. So I recommend heading out to Muni and watching him play in person before it's too late. And that's the way it is.
Ooh, you love your takes, and you know what? I think I like this one. It was pretty good. It's time for top plays. We start with number 3, and it's Danielle Gibson. We head to Farrington Stadium in what was a phenomenal weekend for the ASU softball team. She supplied all of the offense for ASU, quite literally. Two RBI doubles, amounting in 2 of the 3 victories for ASU softball.
Is she related to Kurt Gibson? She is so clutch, this Arizona State softball team. All right, number 2. You might have seen this play so far in this show.
He skies one here into right center field and trying to get over there to make the play. Unable to is Johnny DeLuca. On his way to second base is Canning. Heading for third. Will he do it? 8th of the season. Rounding third and heading for home. Gage Canning inside the park.
And to play number 1, you can't argue with it. National champion Zahid Valencia. This was Saturday. And what I really kind of liked the best out of all this was he took down Mark Hall, got some revenge from last year in the national semifinals, and wow, a national champion, the 11th in ASU school history.
I know you like doing play-by-play as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
My call that. Hall takes a fall. You like that?
Oh, that's
Too
a good
much?
one. I'm a fan.
Okay.
No, I think it's okay.
A little cheesy, but...
I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
I'll give you the cheese.
Appreciate that.
All right, that's going to do it for our show. Thanks for joining us on Cronkite Sports Live. We'll see you next Wednesday.